Whatever happens, happens for the good. In a bustling city, there lived a young man named Aryan. He was ambitious, full of dreams, and eager to achieve success. Aryan had planned his life carefully, but things often didn't go as he wished. Despite his efforts, he faced one setback after another, leaving him frustrated and disheartened. He would often ask himself, "Why is this happening to me?" One day, Aryan was offered a job in a well known company. This was his dream job, the opportunity he had been waiting for. He prepared for the interview with great care and was confident he would get the position. The interview went well, and Aryan felt sure he would be hired. However, when the results were announced, Aryan discovered he hadn't been selected. His heart sunk. He was crushed and couldn't understand why he had been rejected. I gave it my best, he thought, but still, I failed. What did I do wrong? He couldn't shake off the disappointment and felt as if all his hard work had been for nothing. A few weeks passed, and Aryan was still struggling with his feelings. He shared his frustration with his friend, Neha, who listened patiently. After he finished, she said, "Aryan, you know my grandmother always says, whatever happens, happens for the good. Maybe there's a reason you didn't get that job. Sometimes, things work out in ways we can't see right away." Aryan frowned, not convinced. It's easy to say that, but how can this failure be good for me? I missed a great opportunity. Neha smiled and replied, "Just give it some time. You never know what life has in store for you." A few days later, Aryan received a call from another company. This company was not as prestigious as the previous one, but it was offering him a role with more responsibility and growth potential. Aryan hesitated, wondering if he should take the job, but he eventually decided to give it a chance. As Aryan settled into his new role, he discovered that he enjoyed the work more than he had expected. His manager recognized his potential and gave him projects that allowed him to showcase his skills. Aryan began to excel in his job and felt more fulfilled than he had ever been. Months passed, and Aryan's hard work did not go unnoticed. He received a promotion, and soon after, he was offered a chance to lead a team. Aryan felt proud and grateful. He realized that if he had gotten the first job, he would not have had the same opportunities for growth. One evening, Aryan sat with Neha and said, "You were right. Not getting that first job was a blessing in disguise. If I had joined that company, I wouldn't have experienced this kind of growth. I understand now that whatever happens truly does happen for the good." Neha smiled and nodded. "I'm glad you see it now, Aryan. Life has a way of guiding us to where we need to be, even if it doesn't make sense at first." Aryan's life continued to unfold in unexpected ways. Over the next few years, he faced other challenges and setbacks, but each time, he reminded himself of the lesson he had learned. Whenever things didn't go his way, he would say to himself, "Whatever happens, happens for the good." One day, Aryan was traveling by train to visit his family. On the way, he met an elderly man named Ramesh. They started talking, and Aryan found himself sharing his life story and the lesson he had learned about accepting life's ups and downs. Ramesh listened thoughtfully and then shared his own story. He told Aryan about a time when he had lost everything: a business he had built over many years, his home, and his savings. Ramesh had felt devastated and hopeless. However, after some time, he found a new purpose in helping others and eventually rebuilt his life with a sense of fulfillment he hadn't known before. You see, Aryan, Ramesh said, sometimes life takes away something to give us something better. We just have to trust the process and believe that everything happens for a reason. Aryan felt moved by Ramesh's story and realized that everyone had their own struggles and lessons. He thanked Ramesh for sharing his experience and felt even more inspired to embrace life's challenges with a positive outlook. Years later, Aryan became a successful leader, respected by his colleagues and admired for his wisdom and calmness. He had grown into a person who could face challenges with courage and resilience. Whenever someone in his team felt discouraged or frustrated, Aryan would share his story and tell them, remember, whatever happens, happens for the good. Trust in life's journey, even when it doesn't make sense. One day, a young intern named Meera came to Aryan with tears in her eyes. She had made a mistake in a project, and it had affected the whole team. Meera was afraid she would lose her job and felt terrible about letting everyone down. Aryan sat with her, listening patiently. When she finished, he smiled and said, Meera, we all make mistakes. What's important is that we learn from them and grow. Remember, every challenge teaches us something valuable. Whatever happens, happens for the good. Meera felt comforted by Aryan's words. She apologized to the team, learned from her mistake, and worked harder to improve. Over time, she grew into a skilled and confident professional, all because Aryan had reminded her to believe in herself and trust the process. Aryan's life continued to be filled with successes and setbacks, but he always faced them with a positive attitude. He understood that life had its own way of unfolding, and he learned to let go of worry and embrace each experience with an open heart. As Aryan grew older, he became known for his wisdom, just like Ramesh and the other wise people he had met in his journey. He was grateful for every twist and turn, knowing that each moment, each experience, had shaped him into the person he had become. And so, Aryan lived a life filled with peace and contentment, knowing that whatever happened, happened for the good. Life's challenges and setbacks often lead to growth and new opportunities. Trusting the journey helps us find peace and fulfillment.